Hey everyone, we're here at Korg for another patch of the week, and this is the Korg Volca nubass. It's a Volca synth with acid-style bass programming, but the similarities end there, because this bass synth is like no other. It features NuTubes, which are Korg's proprietary technology for shrinking down vacuum tubes to fit inside of a Volca. The NuTubes feature in the Volca nubass's VTO, or vacuum tube oscillator, as well as in a saturator circuit that adds analog tube harmonics to its sub-oscillator. And this is your first patch on the Korg Volca nubass. To get started on Volca nubass, we're going to zero it out, and the way that I like to do that is make sure the pitch is up the middle, saturation and level is turned down on the sub-oscillator, the filter is all the way open, the resonance or peak as it's labeled on the nubass is all the way down, the attack is down, the decay is up, the envelope generator intensity or EG int is down, the accent is up the middle, the drive is all the way down, and the tone is up the middle. And our shift functions, which are available by holding function and then looking at whichever knob has a parameter in a box, are turned all the way down as well, our LFO rate and our LFO intensity. So now if I play a note, that's kind of my beginning sound. If I hold function and switch the VTO wave, I can hear the difference between the saw and the square that are available on the Volca nubass. And these sound kind of unique because they're being produced by a VTO, or vacuum tube oscillator. So I cleared the sequencer before I started this video, so if I press play, I'm not going to get anything, but if I press function and then I press the record button, I enter step record mode. So if I play notes, they're going to record step by step. So let's record a very simple sequence. Now if I exit out of that by pressing function again and press play, those are those 16 notes that I recorded, but they're not really articulated in a grooving way because they're all the exact same articulation, the same transpose, accent, and slide settings. So I want to randomize that a little and get into a kind of groove. I can hold function and randomize all three of those parameters, and let's press play and see what we get. So I'm already starting to feel kind of a groove forming in my sequence, but I can further randomize. Let's say if I just want to do the transpose and the slides. That sounds pretty cool. Now if I bring in some resonance, and then bring up the envelope generator intensity, bring down the decay, I can really hear the range of that filter. But if I want to add some drive on the end of my signal path, I can bring up the drive knob. And if I want to beef up my low end, I bring up the level on the sub-oscillator. Bring in some saturation as well. And I can randomize aspects of my sequence at any time. So my sequence never gets old. And lastly, I can bring in some LFO. Let's first target the cutoff with our LFO and hold function to bring in some intensity. Now the LFO rate is all the way down, so we want to bring it up a little bit. We can hear that really fast. But if we bring it down so that the LFO is cycling and taking longer than an entire bar, bring down the intensity, so I'm slowly opening and closing the filter with the LFO that's on a very slow speed. I kind of get some motion that gives me a little bit of variety to the repetition if I have, say, a long acid techno piece that I'm working on.